Welcome to the Building Knowledge channel. I'm Jamie Perkins, behind the camera, my brother Eric. Together we are the Perkins Builder Brothers. Today's topic, hammers. For people not in the construction industry, a hammer's a hammer.
Right?
And while that may be true, there's more to it. What I'd like to do is show you the hammers that I keep in my truck and use every day, and then I want to show you some kind of specialty hammers that we have laying around the shop that are useful for all kinds of other things. And let me just say this, like in any trade, having the right tool for the job makes your life easy. See?
Mm-hmm. Let's move on down to this section here. We got some really specialty looking hammers, like that guy.
Isn't it cool looking? I bought a
It looks like a Dr. Seuss version of a hammer.
Yeah, these hammers are actually for sheet metal work and like auto body. So, whatever. I got into a little bit of auto body because my truck started rusting, and I decided that I should fix it. So these are for hammering sheet metal. They work in conjunction with the dollies so that you can back up behind the back of the piece of the metal that you're hitting and have a nice solid, almost like a portable anvil. Maybe you can bring one of those in.
Yeah, we have one of those.
And here's a special one right here.
There's a dolly.
Yeah, there's a dolly. So you would hold it, behind your sheet of metal, and you can use it to kind of straighten out dents.
Just tap it in.
Just tap, tap, tap. So that's pretty cool. This one right here, you could use to tenderize meat, or you could use it to shrink metal. It's a metal shrinking hammer. It actually would kind of reduce the...
by like crinkling it.
Yeah, basically. Like the shrinkers, the crimper shrinkers. So
Cool.
I haven't used this one yet, but this one I have used quite a bit, and I like it.
Cool. Those are awesome.
That's fun stuff. Yeah, they got a great feel to them. I tell you what. Here, hold that. You might like that.
Yeah, good feel.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about my hammers I keep in the truck and in my tool pouch first. I carry 4 hammers in the truck.
That's a lot of hammers, bro.
I gotta have 4.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Let's say you're starting a foundation. You know, you're beating and banging around, driving some stakes in the ground, maybe some rebar. I've got this bad boy here. This happens to be a Craftsman, and I've had it for probably 10, 15 years. It's got a nice heavy waffle face right there. It has a large diameter head on it.
That's huge.
That's really important. It's hefty.
What is that, a 20 ounce?
I bet it's a 22.
22 ounce,
It doesn't say, but...
And hammers are labeled in ounces for whatever reason.
I don't know anything about ounces.
So we're going to start with a benchmark there. That's a 24, 22-ish ounce framing hammer.
Heavy hammer. I would not want to carry this in my tool belt all day because it's so heavy. But when you need to, say, drive some rebar stakes or some of those bigger diameter metal stakes in the ground, bang!
Okay, that's a good one.
Right.
Name that hammer, Jamie.
So you can do that. This is a dead blow hammer, and it offers a no bounce back kind of blow. Dead blow, no bounce.
That's interesting.
There's actually metal shot in there, and this one's rubber, and things that you don't want to damage. You're hitting on metal parts that you don't want to mushroom out, or you don't want to put hammer marks on. This is great for that, beating stuff around. I've been using that a lot.
It's plastic on the outside, hard.
Yeah.
It's like hard rubber.
Yeah, I've been using that a lot.
That's a cool hammer. That is so cool.
I like it a lot. Okay, after you're done beating and banging around in the mud, you start framing. Now, for my really rough, heavy framing, I like to carry this hammer. This is a Stiletto. It's a TB2 15. That's a 3.
That's the new one.
I forgot. I broke my 2. I had a 2 and it broke, and I sent it back, and they I guess they gave me a discount.
And by the way, these retail for like over $200. They're expensive.
Yes, it's titanium. That's why it's expensive. This one has a replaceable face, and let me talk about this just for a sec. I know you got something you need to be doing or whatever,
Okay.
but all right, listen. If you're in the basement and you're working on, say, you're putting walls in a slab, you're going to be using some kind of anchors. You're going to be beating in some hardened, nails probably, or driving the pins in these, wedge anchors. This has a steel face, and it's waffled. And it's replaceable. See the nut there? Mm-hmm. You can put a smooth or a waffle. I keep a waffle. Okay, let's just pause that right there. Now, let's go to the hammer I use all the time. This is the #1 hammer that I carry in my tool belt for a couple of reasons. It's got a nice long handle, so I get a lot of velocity on my swing, but it's lightweight. It's 14 ounce.
And it
Stiletto.
is titanium. This is much lighter. But the face. Talk about the face.
All right, so here's the thing. See, this face is waffled, but it's really worn out. And it's not designed for hitting steel that's hardened. Okay,
Right.
Nails are made of steel,
Not hardened.
but they're soft.
Yes.
This hammer is harder than a nail, but this hammer is not harder than a hardened, like a what do you call them? A cut nail.
Cut nail, yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to drive cut nails or hardened nails, you need to use a steel face hammer. Okay, You got to, or
All
else
right.
you will destroy your
We got
titanium
it. We
face.
got it.
Okay.
We got it.
All right, so that's why it's important. All right, this is the number one hammer. I carry this for framing, for finish work.
And this has a wood handle, so let's dive into that. Why wood handle or steel handle? What's the difference, advantages, etc.?
Oh, it's a deep. Are you sure you want to go there?
Is it lunch?
Well, I don't really know all the benefits, but I can tell you that the wood is supposed to be like easier on your elbow, like the shock. I think
absorbance.
the wood, in the same way that like if you're walking on a concrete slab all day, your knees will hurt. I think that's like using the equivalent of using a metal shafted.
Yeah, and the rubber grip does dissipate that somewhat.
Yeah.
But in general,
I like the wood.
so
I don't know.
I'm just gonna bullet point for Jamie here. In general, the wood handle is gonna be less shock to your elbow over time than the steel.
At least we think. And of course, I had to decorate and carve this one. Actually, I did it for functionality, for grip. It gives me a nice grip right there. I carved that with my chisel during lunch, and I actually really like the way it feels.
Okay, and disadvantage of the wood. Let's point that out.
Well,
there you go.
wood has one little downside. You know, it's not much of a big deal, but you know.
So if you're trying to pry something with the rip claw into this, you know, big time.
There you go. You're gonna go through some handles, and we have, and that's okay. You just put a new one on there for about $10. And then I've got my oldest stiletto right here. This is a like patent pending stiletto when they first came out with these things in 2002, I think. It even says Ruger on it. I don't know what that means.
Who knows?
This one actually broke and shortened up the handle, so it's got a shorter handle. I carry this for finish work. It's completely smooth now. This is great for doing like soffit or fascias where you're using tiny nails. Super lightweight, short handle, so it doesn't get snagged on a bunch of stuff. I really love this hammer for the finer things when you're not going to be slapping some big nails
All right.
in.
Next topic here is look at this hammer.
All right,
Curved.
Homeowner. Oh, well, this is Harry Homeowner hammer.
Harry, where are you?
Give me my hammer back.
Harry Homeowner. Now, this got a fiberglass handle shaft here with a rubber handle, and it's got this curved claw. Now, I don't know what is the point of having a curved claw. Maybe it's for pulling nails better because you get farther travel.
You can pull them out further with a curved claw. Like you can
Wank.
pull. Yeah.
Wow, that comes really far up.
Yeah. So let's do a demonstration versus the rip.
Well,
the
this
straight claw.
is more of a straight here, and if we hold them at the same angle,
Yeah.
the curved is up higher, so it would have pulled the nail out farther.
So this will pull the nail completely out, whereas this you may have to get a second pull on it or get a second tool.
Yes.
What's the advantage?
Well, I tell
the
you,
straight
we
rip claw?
use the straight claw. All the hammers that I carry, you'll notice, boom, straight claw. Look at that, straight claw, straight claw, straight claw. They're all there. We
That
use
could be called a rip claw.
rip claw. We use it for a lot of things, even like hacking and chiseling for prying and lifting things. So if you want to get this under a wall that you're building and lift the plate up enough to where you can get your hand under it,
Yeah.
then this is good for that. The curved one won't
Yeah.
actually
The Harry
do that.
Homeowner is not good.
It won't do it. It'll hit.
The shaft will hit before it gets under there.
Yeah, so this is not good for lifting things or prying things apart so much. And so I think the straight claw is the way to go for the carpentry professional. That's just my opinion about it.
I've seen that before.
Name that hammer.
That is the hardwood flooring nailer hammer.
Yeah.
I guess you'd call it. So that's made to go in conjunction with the hardwood flooring stapler that we use all the time. This bam activates the stapler. It's got this special tapered head here for hitting actually your wood flooring so that you hit at the bottom edge of the board and not the top edge, because
Correct.
you would damage the
Now I've
top
seen a
edge.
lot of people misusing this hammer, and they hit the hardwood flooring end with the rubber end,
Yeah.
and they hit the nailer with the metal end, and that's not the way it's
It's
designed.
just exactly backwards.
It's the exact opposite. So that's one we use a lot. It's that's a much hated hammer when we got to see that thing come out.
Now, before we leave the framing hammer topic, I got to point out that this hammer here has a side nail puller,
That is
and it's got some serious leverage.
yeah, that's a nice accessory.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
accessory. I can't say that.
I like it a lot. I use that when you really got one that's stuck, that's got extreme leverage. It's good.
What other? This has another feature.
Oh, it's got the magnetic nail holder. Yeah,
Let's
of
grab
course.
a nail. Grab a nail and show that
Let's
off.
see. Let's get some nails.
And we're back. We got a nail.
Here we are. There's a nail. Another great feature, if you're looking for a hammer to be a professional carpenter, you want one that has this fancy magnetic nail holder starter so that you can reach out somewhere like far away that you can't quite reach, and you get a nail started. Okay, and then you
That
could
wasn't important.
drive it in. But anyway, just to demonstrate, that's really really nice. I would, and also, hey, if you drop a nail and you don't want to bend over all the way, you can just kind of, let me do that for you
Because
here.
it's got a magnet on it.
Yeah, here we go. All right, so you drop your nail, right? And you got to bend over 1,000 times in a day anyway. Just pick it up with the hammer, put it in your pocket.
Bingo.
I do that every day.
Good trick.
Or he just goes, Jason, grab that nail. So if you don't have a magnetic hammer, just get yourself a Jason.
Stick with me here, okay? We got more.
Oh, I'm
I'm
trying.
moving on. All right, these hammers are a little expensive. If you just need to buy one hammer and you want a good one, I recommend this S-Wing. Here, this is a 16 ounce. It's not the biggest hammer in the world, but this is a great all-around hammer. You're not going to break it, and
It'll do a lot of things. That's your one trick pony if you just got one hammer to have.
I have like 4 of these, so if that tells you anything of this like identical kind of hammer, I got a lot of those. There's one's been around a while. See, look at that.
Yep.
I think that actually is mine from like when I was a kid.
Okay, so that's the one trick pony. If you need one hammer, you're not going to buy more than one for specific uses. 16 ounce S-Wing steel shaft rubber handle. It's a good one.
That's
to
a
have.
mouthful. Now I want to highlight a special hammer here. This is my dad's framing hammer. It's an S-Wing, and I think it's pronounced S-Wing.
Good enough.
A lot of people say E-Swing. I don't know. Who knows? I have actually never seen another one like this. It has an extra long handle, and it has an extra large diameter face on it, an extra wide nail puller.
It is a wide nail puller.
This hammer is, I don't know where he got it. Let's compare it to the regular, the one that I'm recommending that you get. It's that's more than 4 inches longer.
Yeah.
The head is probably twice as big. Anyway, it's
That's a lot of hammer.
It's a man's hammer, but I tell you what, you get a good swing on this, bam! You could drive a nail in one shot, easy.
And I think he could drive one in one shot.
Definitely. It's like a long neck. It's like a giraffe, this thing. All right, let's move on.
We got a lot of hammers to go, so let's start diving into specialty hammers. Is that good with you?
Let's do it. Jason's the man.
Oh, Jason.
Oh, hey.
hey.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't know what any of these hammers
That's
are.
so sneaky. Well, start asking,
All
bud.
right, so what's that?
I'm going to call that a tack hammer if you're putting in some really small nails,
I know
maybe.
what it is.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, this is the one the guy dug out of Shawshank with.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So
Right
that's
on.
tack hammer. What's that for?
Oh, little tiny nails. You're holding a little tiny nail. You just
Okay.
don't want to smash your fingers. You can do some really precise work with that. I don't know what that end is for. Some pecking, maybe, of sorts. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to call it. What do you got next, bud?
I think this is what, a ball peen
That
hammer?
is a ball peen hammer. I'm guessing that's the ball,
Yeah.
and that's the peen? I don't know the anatomy.
So what do you use a ball peen hammer for?
Just general beating around, like mechanic kind of work. If you're going to be driving a punch, like a nail punch or like a drift or something, maybe beating out some pins. This rounded end is actually good for hammering like the heads of rivets. If you're going to actually make a rivet yourself,
Yeah.
like rivet things together with old school like brass rivets, you would actually go in a circular pattern and kind of mushroom out the head of a thing.
That's cool.
And that's what that's made for, I think. The other side's just for whacking stuff really hard.
That is a hammer.
Yeah, wooden hammer. That's I use that for chisels and stuff when I'm in the wood shop. Mallet. I call it a mallet. This is another kind of a mallet. I made that one.
So you actually hit the end of a chisel with these.
There you go. You're
Generally,
holding the chisel. Bang, bang, bang. There
so
you
you
go.
don't damage your chisel as badly.
Yeah, if you hit it with a metal hammer, you could mushroom out the end of your chisel and damage it.
Okay.
So wooden mallets for chisels. That's good.
I know this one. That's a block hammer.
Yeah, that's your best friend there, bud.
So that's a masonry hammer, I'd call it.
Yeah, we use this for splitting concrete blocks in half and chipping concrete and things. It's a really tough hammer. And this one's really had some abuse.
Yeah, and it does have this kind of just a blunt end here that you can break block with it. If you hit in a straight line, it'll just crack them.
Crack that.
Hey, what about this one that looks like a grill handle? Looks like that came right off my grill.
Isn't that kind of a cool design?
Yeah.
This is for chipping slag off of your welds. So again, these are for metalworking. This one is like crazy looking. But if you're stick welding, you're gonna have slag on your weld, and this is specially designed to chip that slag off,
And is this in case the handle were to get hot? This is sort of insulates your hand, but it wouldn't melt.
I don't know why it would get hot. I don't I don't know, but I think it would.
It is a nice grip size though.
Maybe that's the problem, is that the diameter of this shaft is
Yeah.
too small. They just had to come up with something creative. See, this one has got a really small handle, and I don't
Yeah.
like that as much. That one's got a good feel to it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's kind of springy.
That's a cool looking hammer.
There's another chipping hammer, just another smaller, kind of lightweight version.
And there's the dirtiest, rustiest hammer we own.
Yeah, it's just a good old knock-around hammer. I think my kids have been mining the bank with this one. They've been digging for treasure.
Yeah.
Treasure, that's my treasure digging hammer.
Hey, we don't want to forget these guys. The Sledgehammer family, we'll call it.
There you go. Family, I like the way
Yeah,
you...
so right
Yeah.
here, what do we got? An 8-pound sledge?
This is the good old 8-pound. This is good for driving stakes in. If you're doing form work, it's good for knocking a wall across the floor, for beating big, heavy stuff, you know, when you really got to make
Yeah.
something move.
And they go up and down from size in that. Like I'd say up to a 20-pound. Is that what you have?
Oh yeah, it's in the
20-pound
truck.
sledge?
You want me to get it? That's
Yeah.
the man sledge.
All right.
And then they go down. This is probably
That's a 2.
2,
This one's a 3.5.
3.5.
Okay, you need different sizes. And then the 8, and then...
And that's way more than even the largest, 22 ounce. Somebody that knows math can do that.
I don't know
How many
about that.
22 ounce hammers is a 3.5 pound sledge? A couple, probably.
Okay, I think you're right. Oh, hey, here's some other cool ones. The old rubber hammer, rubber mallet. These are great. Use them in the shop, mostly for woodworking when you need to kind of slap some stuff.
Man got a little embarrassed there. Let me clear the brow off a little bit.
I appreciate that, bud. You're the best. I got lint all over my face. Thanks. When I'm in the shop gluing things together, like window frames or anything, these are good for bumping the pieces of wood together to make them tight. It won't damage the wood. You can see they have glue all over them, and they live here in the shop. I've also got some other rubber-headed hammers here. These are for mechanic work. And it's just when you don't want to damage a metal part that you're going to hammer. Look, that one hasn't even, maybe one time only, been used. This one's pretty beat up. So when you're hitting something you don't want to damage, but you need to give it a good blow, these have good solid hit on them. Well, there is one kind of hammer that is not on this table.
What's that?
And I don't even own one. A drywall hammer.
Oh, you're right. There's a reason we don't own drywall hammers.
I don't own one because I don't do drywall
Yeah,
at all.
try not to. So we also forgot the one pro tip by we, I mean you, and that is do not hit your finger or thumb with a hammer ever if you can help it.
Great tip.
Yeah, that's really important.
We should all follow that tip.
So I want to tell you this one story really quick is that we had a guy that was new and he hit his thumb with a hammer, and it's so painful that he instantly had to run outside and start just barfing over the railing. That's how painful it can be. So
Yeah.
when I saw him do that, Dave was his name, Dave Nelson. What's up, Dave? I knew that that was probably the worst thing you could do with a hammer is hit your finger with it.
All right, thanks for joining us on the Building Knowledge channel today, where we discussed everything that we can think of to tell you about hammers. Hopefully it'll help you in some way when you need to choose a hammer to build something. You can pick the right one. Have a great day.